Right. Okay. So today we will be focusing on identifying prepositions, particularly for your grammar close. Okay. Sometimes for grammar close, a lot of times they will be testing you on things like verb forms and all. But sometimes you might also have to choose between prepositions, and you must be able to choose the correct one to fit in the context or fit in the passage. Okay. So that's what we're focusing on today. We will start off with our grammar MCQs, vocab MCQs, and then grammar close. So I think today's content will be quite refined and also quite little. So what we'll do is, if let's say we have extra time, then we'll have extra activities. Okay. So I think today's one should be quite short because we're not doing like heavy content like maybe synthesis or comprehension or compo. Okay. All right, let's get started with MCQ first, grammar MCQ. Okay, I don't think I need to go through house rules. Both of you are actually regular students. You should know the house rules by now, so I'm just going to skip this. Okay. Now, this tablet has many functions, right? So this is called question text. Okay, when you have question text, you need to have opposites. So has many functions. So what's the opposite of has? Anyone? Yes, Jara? Very good. Well done, Jara. Okay. So like I said, question text require opposite. So since this is has, this is supposed to be has not it. But of course, has not, you can also turn it into contraction. So it becomes hasn't. Right? This tablet has many special functions, hasn't it? Right? Hasn't it? So therefore, the answer is B. Okay, so that's this. Now let's move on to the next one. The kid's balloon burst just now. Okay, so this one is also question tag, but it's not so obvious because it doesn't tell us the verb in front. Okay, but what we know, I mean, there are certain clues that tells you certain things. Like for example, just now. Okay, the phrase just now tells you it's in past tense. So if I were to put a verb here, okay, I will say that the kid's balloon did burst. Okay, did burst just now. Why do I use did and not do or does? Okay, cancel, because just now, right? Because it's past tense, all right? So since this is past tense, I can actually include did burst just now, right? The kid's balloon did burst just now. Then of course the opposite will be didn't it? Okay, like I said, question tags, you have to make sure that it is the opposite, yeah? So didn't it? Okay, so the answer is D. Okay, so that's about it for this. Any questions for this? No? Okay, great. Let's move on, yeah? Okay, same thing. This one is quite obvious because in terms of question tag, this one has a very straightforward don't. Don't is a contraction. If you write it in full, it's basically do not. Right? Do not, like don't do this. Do not do this. Okay? So you do not recall even a single thing. What's the opposite of do not? Anyone? Okay, don't, then of course the opposite is and isn't out, because they are definitely not the answer, because it has to be the opposite of this. Yeah. So is it do or don't you? There's a don't already. So the opposite would be do you. Okay, so question text has to be opposites, huh? Just remember that. Okay, so you don't recall a single thing, do you? Right? So that's the opposites. Any questions? Okay, everybody? Yeah? Okay, now let's move on to the next one. The biggest ocean in the world is the Pacific Ocean. Yes, Grace.
B.
Very good. Well done. Okay. So is the Pacific Ocean, isn't it? Right? Isn't it? So the opposite, isn't it? Good. Okay. But is the biggest ocean Pacific Ocean? Do you know? Yeah, I suppose so. I think it's the Pacific Ocean. Let me just double check. Yeah. Biggest ocean in the world. Largest ocean in the world. It is the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, it is the largest as well as the deepest. Covers about 63 million square miles and covers, I think, more than half of the Earth's surface. Atlantic Ocean is the second biggest. Yeah, so good to know. I mean, this one is just general knowledge. Yeah, good to know. Okay, now next one. Do you know that camels can live white water for a few days? This is not a question tag. This one is basically choosing the most suitable word. Yeah, okay. Grace.
B.
Yeah, well done. Okay. Do you know why camels can live without water for a few days? Okay, they have, I think you're only primary 4 now. When you reach primary 6, you probably learn a topic for science under adaptations. Okay, then you learn that actually camels, they have they are able to hold their bladder very well. So that means they can conserve water in their bodies very well. So that's why they can live very long for without water for a few days. But a lot of students think that the hump, camels have humps, right? So a lot of students think that the hump stores water, but that's actually a misconception. The humps actually store food. Okay, it stores fats, and fats can be, further broken down into food, right? Or rather, it's not really food, but it can be further broken down into energy for the person to, for the camel to sustain itself in the desert, because sometimes they go long journeys without food as well. Okay, so they have to conserve their energy in this manner. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So any questions for this? No? Okay, if there aren't any questions, then I'm going to move on to the next one, yeah? Okay, now we're going to move on to the vocabulary MCQ section. All these are actually what we call phrasal verbs. Right? So, of course, when it comes to phrasal verb, basically it's between a verb and a preposition. Okay, so you have a verb, you have a preposition, and a lot of times the meanings are different. Okay, so we will have to read the question first to find out the context, right? So, Katie, what a beautiful box with homemade truffle cookies and gave it to Miss Cole on Teacher's Day. Okay, so when we use fill up is basically, yes, Grace?
A.
Answer is A, fill up. Okay, now fill up basically means, we'll go through one by one first, then we will see whether your answer is correct, yeah? So fill up is basically to become completely full. okay, is to become completely full, is to cause like a space or a container to become full. But of course, fill up has another meaning. Okay, the other meaning would be to satisfy the hunger of someone. Yeah, so two meanings. Okay, seems like it's quite suitable for our sentence here, right? Because if you want to fill up a box, it's basically making it full with some truffle cookies that she makes. Okay, so let us go through the second one. Now, fill in. Okay, both are fill. It's just that the preposition is different. Fill in is another phrasal verb that says you, if there's a hole and then you fill it in with cement. So that's basically to put it so that it's completely full. But a lot of times it's referring to like a hole or a trench. Okay, so putting material okay, putting material into a hole, a trench, or a space so that it's completely full. Right? But of course, filling in has another meaning, which means that when you are trying to add color or shade to the spaces, okay, fill it in with some colors. Like when you're doing coloring, right? Last time maybe you used to have like coloring book. You want to fill in the spaces, so you color it with your coloring pencil. Okay, so two meanings to it. This one, the second meaning is that to complete a drawing. Okay, now next one is top off. Top off and the top off, as in OF, is different, yeah? When you're at the top of something means that you're standing on something that's of a higher ground. But in this case, top off is a phrasal verb. So top off as a phrasal verb means to finish something in a memorable way. Okay, so sometimes you might have heard of something to top it off. Yeah, the festivities award prizes to the participants, to top it off. So it's to finish something in a memorable or notable way. Okay, but top off also can mean to top, like to fill up a partly full tank with fuel. This is very specific. Okay, of course, to top up means like you need to top up certain things, like to add to a certain level. Okay, so to top up means, oops, sorry.